Sunlight is one of the most powerful regulators of your biology, and its effects on skin health go far beyond just tanning or burning. The timing, intensity, and consistency of light exposure directly influence your circadian rhythm, which in turn controls hormone release, cellular repair, and inflammation, all of which are tightly linked to how your skin looks and functions. When you get natural light early in the day, particularly within the first hour or two after waking, you send a strong signal to your brain's master clock located in the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This signal helps set the timing of cortisol release, which naturally peaks in the morning. Cortisol, in the right rhythm, supports alertness and helps regulate inflammation throughout the body, including in the skin. When this rhythm is aligned, your skin is better able to manage stress and repair itself efficiently. At the same time, early light exposure helps regulate melatonin, the hormone responsible for sleep. Melatonin doesn't just help you fall asleep, it also acts as a powerful antioxidant and plays a role in skin repair. When your circadian rhythm is properly aligned, melatonin is released at the right time in the evening, supporting overnight recovery processes that improve skin texture, tone, and resilience. There's also a direct effect of light on the skin itself. Moderate exposure to sunlight can stimulate vitamin D production, which is important for immune function and skin health. Vitamin D helps regulate cell growth and repair, and deficiencies are often linked to various skin issues. However, the key is balance. Excessive exposure, especially during peak UV hours, can damage skin cells, break down collagen, and accelerate aging. The circadian system also influences when your skin is most active in terms of repair. During the day, the skin is more focused on protection, dealing with UV radiation, pollution, and environmental stressors. At night, it shifts into repair mode, increasing cell turnover and fixing accumulated damage. If your light exposure is inconsistent, too little during the day or too much artificial light at night, this cycle becomes disrupted. As a result, repair processes are less effective, and signs like dullness, irritation, or premature aging can become more noticeable. Artificial light, especially from screens late at night, can interfere with this system. Blue light exposure in the evening suppresses melatonin release, delaying sleep and reducing the quality of recovery. Over time, this not only affects how rested you feel, but also how well your skin regenerates. Consistency is what makes this system work. Regular exposure to natural light in the morning, combined with reduced light exposure at night, helps anchor your internal clock. This creates a stable rhythm for hormone release and cellular activity, which supports healthier skin over time. When these rhythms are aligned, your skin benefits in multiple ways. Inflammation is better controlled, repair processes are more efficient, and the overall balance between protection and regeneration is maintained. This is why something as simple as stepping outside in the morning light can have a meaningful impact, not just on how you feel, but on how your skin looks and recovers. On a D. Nutrition provides the raw materials your skin uses to maintain its structure, repair damage, and defend itself against environmental stress. The skin is constantly renewing itself, and that process depends on a steady supply of specific nutrients. If those nutrients are lacking or imbalanced, the effects often show up directly in skin texture, elasticity, and overall appearance. Protein is one of the most important components because it supplies amino acids that are used to build collagen and elastin. Collagen gives the skin its firmness, while elastin allows it to stretch and return to its original shape. Without enough high-quality protein, the body has limited resources to maintain these structures, which can lead to thinning skin, slower repair, and a loss of resilience over time. Fats also play a critical role, particularly in maintaining the skin barrier. This barrier is made up of lipids that help retain moisture and protect against external irritants. Healthy fats, especially omega-3 fatty acids, support this structure by reducing inflammation and improving the integrity of the barrier. When the barrier is strong, the skin stays hydrated more easily and is less prone to irritation or sensitivity. Micronutrients are equally important, even though they are needed in smaller amounts. Vitamin C is essential for collagen synthesis and also acts as an antioxidant, protecting the skin from oxidative stress caused by UV exposure and pollution. Vitamin A supports cell turnover, helping the skin shed old cells and replace them with new ones. Zinc plays a role in wound healing and immune function, which is particularly important for conditions like acne or inflammation. There's also a strong connection between blood sugar regulation and skin health. Diets high in refined sugars and simple carbohydrates can lead to rapid spikes in blood glucose, which trigger the release of insulin. Elevated insulin levels can increase oil production and promote inflammation, both of which contribute to skin issues. Over time, high sugar intake can also lead to glycation, a process where sugar molecules bind to proteins like collagen, making them less flexible and more prone to breakdown. The gut-skin connection is another important layer. The health of your gut microbiome influences systemic inflammation and immune responses, which can show up in the skin. A diet rich in fiber, whole foods, and fermented products supports beneficial gut bacteria, which in turn helps regulate inflammation and improve skin clarity. Hydration from food also plays a role. Foods with high water content, like fruits and vegetables, contribute to overall hydration while also delivering vitamins and antioxidants. These compounds help neutralize free radicals and support cellular repair, which is essential for maintaining a healthy appearance. Consistency in nutrition matters more than occasional changes. The skin reflects long-term patterns rather than short-term interventions. When you regularly provide the nutrients needed for repair and protection, the body can maintain a steady cycle of renewal. This leads to improvements not just in appearance, but in how the skin functions as a protective and adaptive system. Sleep is one of the most powerful drivers of skin health because it's the primary window during which the body shifts into repair mode. Throughout the day, your skin is exposed to a range of stressors: UV radiation, pollution, temperature changes, and mechanical stress. These factors create small amounts of damage at the cellular level. That damage doesn't just disappear, it requires active repair processes, and those processes are heavily concentrated during sleep. During deep stages of sleep, the body increases the release of growth hormone, which plays a key role in tissue repair and regeneration. This hormone supports the production of collagen, helping maintain skin structure, firmness, and elasticity. When sleep is consistent and of good quality, collagen synthesis is more efficient, which contributes to smoother, more resilient skin over time. There's also a significant increase in blood flow to the skin after sleep. This improved circulation delivers oxygen and nutrients that are necessary for cellular repair, while also helping remove metabolic waste products that accumulate throughout the day. This process supports a clearer and more even complexion, as the skin is better able to renew itself at a cellular level. Sleep also regulates inflammation, which is a major factor in many skin conditions. When you don't get enough quality sleep, the body tends to produce more inflammatory markers. This can lead to increased redness, irritation, and flare-ups of conditions like acne, eczema, or psoriasis. Over time, chronic sleep disruption can keep the skin in a low-grade inflammatory state, which interferes with its ability to heal and maintain balance. Another important aspect is how sleep affects the skin barrier. The outer layer of the skin is responsible for retaining moisture and protecting against environmental damage. During sleep, this barrier is repaired and strengthened. If sleep is insufficient, the barrier becomes more permeable, meaning it loses moisture more easily and becomes more susceptible to irritation. This often shows up as dryness, sensitivity, or a dull appearance. Hormonal balance is also closely tied to sleep. Poor sleep can disrupt hormones like cortisol and insulin, both of which influence skin health. Elevated cortisol levels, especially when sustained over time, can increase oil production and break down collagen. This not only contributes to acne, but can also accelerate visible signs of aging. There's also an effect on how the skin appears immediately. Lack of sleep can lead to reduced blood flow and fluid imbalance, which often shows up as dark circles, puffiness, and a lack of brightness in the skin. These are short-term effects, but when sleep issues persist, they can become more noticeable and harder to reverse. Consistency is critical. Going to sleep and waking up at similar times helps regulate the body's internal clock, which ensures that repair processes occur at the right time each night. Irregular sleep patterns can disrupt this timing, making the repair cycle less efficient. Over time, quality sleep creates a compounding effect. The skin is repaired more effectively each night, inflammation is kept in check, and structural components like collagen are maintained. This leads to skin that not only looks healthier, but is better equipped to handle daily stress and recover from damage. Stress has a direct and measurable impact on skin health because it alters hormonal balance, immune function, and the integrity of the skin barrier. When you experience stress, the body increases the release of cortisol, a hormone that prepares you to deal with challenges. In short bursts, this response is useful, but when stress becomes chronic, elevated cortisol begins to disrupt normal skin function. One of the primary effects of high cortisol is increased oil production. The sebaceous glands in your skin respond to stress signals by producing more sebum. While some oil is necessary to keep the skin protected and hydrated, excess production can clog pores and create an environment where acne-causing bacteria thrive. This is why periods of high stress are often associated with breakouts, even in individuals who otherwise have stable skin. Cortisol also weakens the skin barrier over time. The barrier is responsible for retaining moisture and protecting against environmental irritants. When it becomes compromised, the skin loses water more easily and becomes more sensitive to external factors like pollution, temperature changes, and harsh products. This can lead to dryness, irritation, and a general loss of resilience. Inflammation is another major pathway through which stress affects the skin. Chronic stress keeps the body in a heightened inflammatory state, which can worsen conditions like acne, eczema, rosacea, and psoriasis. The immune system becomes less balanced, sometimes overreacting, and sometimes becoming less effective at repairing damage. This imbalance shows up as redness, flare-ups, and slower healing. There's also a behavioral component to stress. When people are stressed, they often change their habits in ways that indirectly affect skin health. Sleep quality may decline, dietary choices may shift toward more processed or sugary foods, and routines like skincare or hydration may become inconsistent. These changes compound the direct physiological effects of stress, making the overall impact more pronounced. Stress can also influence how the skin heals. Elevated cortisol slows down the repair process by interfering with collagen production and reducing the efficiency of cellular regeneration. This means that small injuries, blemishes, or irritation take longer to resolve. Over time, this can contribute to uneven texture and a less vibrant appearance. Another important factor is how stress affects the nervous system. The skin is closely connected to nerve activity, and heightened stress can increase sensitivity. This can make the skin feel more reactive, even to things that wouldn't normally cause a problem. It also increases the likelihood of habits like touching or picking at the skin, which can further disrupt healing. Managing stress doesn't require eliminating it completely, but it does involve creating regular opportunities for the nervous system to return to a baseline state. Practices like controlled breathing, physical activity, exposure to natural light, and maintaining consistent daily routines all help regulate cortisol levels. These actions signal to the body that it is safe to downshift out of a stress response. Over time, reducing chronic stress allows the skin to return to a more balanced state. Oil production normalizes, the barrier becomes stronger, and inflammation decreases. This creates an internal environment where the skin can function properly, leading to improvements not just in appearance, but in overall resilience and ability to recover from daily challenges. Topical care plays an important role in skin health, but its effectiveness depends on how well it supports the skin's natural biology rather than trying to override it. The skin is constantly renewing itself through a process called cell turnover, where old cells are shed and new ones are formed. Certain topical ingredients can enhance this process, protect against damage, and improve overall appearance when used consistently and appropriately. One of the most well-studied components in topical care is sunscreen. Ultraviolet radiation from the sun is one of the primary drivers of skin aging, including wrinkles, loss of elasticity, and pigmentation changes. UV exposure also generates oxidative stress, which damages cellular structures and accelerates the breakdown of collagen. Regular use of sunscreen helps prevent this damage before it occurs, making it one of the most effective long-term strategies for maintaining skin health. Retinoids are another key category of topical compounds. They are derivatives of vitamin A and work by increasing the rate of cell turnover. This helps clear out dead skin cells, unclog pores, and stimulate collagen production. Over time, this can improve skin texture, reduce fine lines, and support a more even tone. However, because retinoids increase sensitivity, especially in the early stages of use, they need to be introduced gradually to allow the skin to adapt. Antioxidants, such as vitamin C, also play a significant role. These compounds help neutralize free radicals, which are unstable molecules generated by UV exposure, pollution, and normal metabolic processes. Free radicals can damage cells and accelerate aging, but antioxidants reduce this effect by stabilizing those molecules. Vitamin C in particular also supports collagen synthesis and can brighten the skin by influencing pigmentation pathways. Moisturizers are often overlooked, but they are essential for maintaining the skin barrier. The barrier is composed of lipids and proteins that prevent water loss and protect against external irritants. When this barrier is intact, the skin is more resilient, less prone to irritation, and better able to repair itself. Moisturizers help reinforce this structure by adding or sealing in hydration, which improves both function and appearance. Consistency is what determines the effectiveness of topical care. Applying products sporadically or changing routines too frequently prevents the skin from adapting and benefiting fully. Most of these ingredients work gradually, influencing cellular processes over weeks or months rather than producing immediate results. It's also important to consider how different products interact. Using too many active ingredients at once can overwhelm the skin, leading to irritation and a weakened barrier. A more effective approach is to use a few well-chosen products that complement each other and align with your skin's needs. Another key factor is timing. Some products, like sunscreen and antioxidants, are most effective during the day when the skin is exposed to environmental stressors. Others, like retinoids, are typically used at night when the skin is in repair mode. Aligning topical care with these natural cycles enhances their effectiveness. Over time, a consistent and well-structured topical routine helps protect the skin from damage, supports its natural renewal processes, and maintains the integrity of its barrier. This leads to improvements in texture, tone, and overall resilience, making the skin not only look better but function more effectively in its role as a protective organ. Hydration and the integrity of the skin barrier are tightly connected, and together they determine how well your skin can maintain its structure, appearance, and protective function. Many people assume that drinking more water alone will significantly change their skin, but the reality is more nuanced. While internal hydration supports overall physiology, the skin's ability to retain that hydration depends largely on the condition of its outer layer. The skin barrier, often referred to as the stratum corneum, is made up of cells held together by lipids, forming a structure that acts like a seal. This barrier prevents excessive water loss and blocks harmful substances from entering. When it is intact and functioning properly, the skin appears smooth, plump, and resilient. When it is compromised, water escapes more easily, leading to dryness, flakiness, and increased sensitivity. Internal hydration still plays an important role. Adequate water intake supports circulation, which helps deliver nutrients and oxygen to skin cells. It also supports cellular processes involved in repair and renewal. However, if the skin barrier is weak, much of that hydration cannot be effectively retained at the surface, limiting its visible impact. External factors often have a stronger influence on barrier health. Harsh cleansers, overuse of active ingredients, excessive exfoliation, and environmental stressors like wind or low humidity can strip away the lipids that hold the barrier together. When this happens, the skin becomes more permeable, meaning it loses moisture more quickly and becomes more reactive to external irritants. Topical hydration works by addressing this issue directly. Moisturizers contain ingredients that either attract water, hold it in place, or reinforce the lipid structure of the barrier. Humectants draw water into the skin, while occlusive ingredients create a seal that prevents it from evaporating. Emollients help smooth and repair the barrier by filling in gaps between skin cells. Together, these actions restore the skin's ability to retain moisture effectively. There's also a relationship between hydration and inflammation. When the skin is dry and the barrier is compromised, it becomes more prone to irritation and inflammatory responses. This can show up as redness, itching, or increased sensitivity. By maintaining proper hydration and barrier function, you reduce these stress signals, allowing the skin to remain more stable and less reactive. Environmental conditions play a role as well. In dry climates or during colder seasons, moisture loss from the skin increases. This makes barrier support even more important. Adjusting your skincare approach based on these conditions helps maintain balance and prevent unnecessary damage. Consistency is key in maintaining both hydration and barrier health. Occasional use of hydrating products is not enough to counteract daily exposure to factors that deplete moisture. Regular care ensures that the barrier remains intact and capable of doing its job effectively. Over time, when hydration is supported both internally and externally, and the skin barrier is maintained, the skin becomes more resilient. It holds moisture more efficiently, responds better to environmental stress, and maintains a smoother, healthier appearance. When you consistently support both hydration and the skin barrier, you create a system where the skin can maintain itself more effectively without constant correction. Instead of reacting to dryness or irritation after it appears, you prevent those issues from developing in the first place. Over time, this leads to skin that not only looks more balanced and refreshed, but is also stronger, more stable, and better equipped to handle daily stressors.